Hi guys, it's Wayne from Living with Bikes. We haven't had much that we could do lately, so today is the 7th of October and in Australia, in Victoria, so Melbourne, we're still in the city anyway, we're still in lockdown, probably till about the 18th or a bit more maybe of October. So anyway, I usually go through and show you what I'm up to with my bikes, and we usually go for a ride, so we can't do any of that at the moment. And a little while ago, as you know, my son Lucas, he's getting married next April to the love of his life, and he asked me if he could have, other than bikes, he said could he have one of my cars as one of his wedding cars. He wants two of them, but one of them needs a bit of attention, and I'll show you that now. This is the car that needs a bit of attention. So as you can see, it does need a bit of attention because at the moment it's really drafty. It's got no doors and no wheels because I've got it sitting on a trolley that I made. So anyway, so just quickly, we're not going to go through the build of this as such because I do bikes for you guys, not cars. But I just wanted to quickly show you what I have been doing in lockdown. This is the motor. So for you American guys, this is a Holden V8, 5 litre. It's actually called a 4.9 because it's a homologated engine when this car was raced back in the day, which is 1987. So it's sort of loosely based off a Chevy. It's probably a little bit different. It is our own engine, and it was a really successful engine, and a really good little engine. It made the same amount nearly as power as the Chev. As probably the 307, because that's as close as we can get, 308, 307. But yeah, just a really good little engine. Anyway, that's going back in it. That's the original engine out of this car. And so far, I've got the engine bay ready, and I've started putting the brake lines and all the fuel admission lines and stuff back in it. This car's going back as original, not as a hot rod. With a few little extras, it'll have different wheels and things like that on it. So anyway, so that's that. So there's two things I want to show you. One of them is a little tip for you guys. If you're painting and you can't quite get enough heat in your day, I've got my old wagon here which I use for picking up all my parts and stuff. And on a 20-degree day, you put the lid down and leave this car sit in the sun, heats up to 30 degrees. It acts like a little oven. This is actually the front. This is called a VL Calais, and I'll put a picture up and show you. And that's actually, this is all part of the nose, and this is a little flip-up headlights arrangement that it has. Or flip-up covers. The headlights stay where they are, but the covers lift up and down. So I'm just getting this ready now. As I said, that was dried yesterday, so I'm going to pull it out in a minute, do a few little repairs to those tins, and then get it all ready, put it back together, store that away until I'm ready to use it. Okay, so I'll show you what we were going to do, and we will get back to it. It's in here, so it's behind a bit of a mess in here because when you're doing cars. So this is a little genuine Suzuki GSX. I forgot the other bit they call it. It's a GSX. One of them. Oh, there you go. There's a side cover. I might turn you around. So there you go, it's a GSX 550 EF. So, and what was sort of cool about these, even though they were a 550, they were a 4-cylinder motor, but they only had 2 carbs, and as you can see there's 2 Venturis on one carb. So the 2 carbs with the 2 Venturis made 4 Venturis, which obviously fed 4 cylinders. And these things were nicknamed the Pocket Rocket, because they sound like a 4-cylinder, but they rev, and once they get going they really scream.
All yours, honey.
Yep. There we go. For an old bike, this is 1982, I think, this bike. And this is for my wife now. So, as you know, guys, I ride the I've got the GSXR 750, and this isn't the same league of bike, but what it does is, if we want to go out to a vintage day or a Suzuki day or anything like that, old bike stuff, classic stuff, she can take this one. I've got the 750, so it just gives us a couple of bikes, and they're around the same vintage. My they're 7 years apart, I guess, or 6 years apart. 750 is 88, and this is like 82 or 84. I'll have to check up on that. But it's quite a good bike. We've had it running. It was actually an older gentleman. I went round to his house once. He asked me to come round. He knew me through my business. Then he asked me to come round. So I went round there and he said, look, see this old bike under the tarp? And it was half weathered off and it was getting wet and all that. And I said to him, look, it's not really worth a lot of money. If it was a GSXR 750 or something, slingshot, yeah. I said, sure. I said, but what I can do for you is, I'll promise you that I'll put it back to working condition, do it up, and he knew what I did, and I'll do it up and make it nice, and I'll give it to my wife to ride, and it will be looked after, as I said, he was an older guy, said, well, after you're gone, she'll still be riding it. And he said, oh, I'm happy with that. So we part, I gave him a bit of cash for it, but really, he sort of gave it to me, really. And I've kept my promise because it's on the lift now and we're going through it. And I started to, and then Lucas, as kids do, kids, 25-year-old, he asked me to get the other car ready if I could. Because the reason why he asked me is because the other car he's going to have is my Tirana up here. So that's going to be his other car, and then a friend of mine's got one basically the same, and then the white one as well. So that's what you got to do when your kids are getting married and they want one of your cars. You have to get them ready for them. So anyway, as I said, I'm not going to take you through the whole build because we do a bike thing, we're not really a car thing, but I just wanted to show you what's going on at the moment, what I'm having to do, or what I'm doing. And I'll show you when it's finished, and I'll put a thing up on the film there, and I'll let you see what it actually looks like for those that don't really know. Australian guys would know, but from around the world, if you don't know, I'll put something there for you so you can see what it looks like. Alright, so we'll get back to doing our regular bike stuff as soon as we're able to. We're all like, itching. I mean, it's a bit like someone's waving the flag ready to go. As soon as he drops the hammer, we're all going to be on the road, doing our thing, enjoying ourselves. So hopefully it won't be too long, and we'll get back out there, and I can't wait to do some stuff for you. We've got some really nice trips lined up. We've just got to be able to get to them. Alright guys, thanks a lot again, and keep staying in tune, and we'll try and get as much stuff out as soon as we're allowed to. Okay, bye for now.
Wow.